right, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you again for your patience, those of you that are here tonight. We really appreciate it. We are going to go ahead and get our regular scheduled board meeting called to order. The time is now 7:18 p.m. If I can have roll call, please.
VP Bowman,
Present.
Trustee Kraft,
Here.
I'm here. Trustee Garrett,
Present.
Trustee Gross,
Present.
President Hannah,
Present.
Trustee Terry.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. If we can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for the approval of the agenda, please?
So moved. Support.
It's been moved by Trustee Gross and approved by Trustee Garrett for the approval of the agenda. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Kraft,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
Trustee Gross,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Trustee Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman.
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. Well, tonight, under our awards and recognition, not only do we have a student here, but we also would like to take the time and acknowledge our very own for Trustee Garrett and for Trustee Kraft. Let me see what we have. We have something special for you, so I'll do this and then, see, all of that. All right, so we do have a token of appreciation for our two board members here, Trustee Garrett and Trustee Kraft. It has definitely been a privilege, an honor to serve with both of you. Since joining this board, President Garrett, you've been very supportive, a wealth of knowledge, a very forward-thinking leader, and I appreciate everything, the trust and confidence that you have instilled in your trustees, just your commitment and dedication to the Pontiac community. It shows in your roles on a national level, just in the way that you represent Pontiac. It comes from your heart. And we just want to say thank you so much for everything, even during the good, the bad, and the ugly that we've experienced with you. But we trust that it's coming from a good place, and that's just your passion that you have really shown for these kids here in our school district. So on behalf of our Board of Trustees, this administration, we have a token of appreciation for your service. Sorry, I gotta unpack it.
You will, bro.
And it says, or maybe should I go over to the podium? Okay. If you could bring the other one too. All right, how's that? All right, thank you. So here, I would like to read to you what this resolution says. The School District of the City of Pontiac Board of Education, resolution honoring the service of Gil Garrett. Whereas the Pontiac School District has been privileged to have many exemplary public servants whose service on the Board of Education helped shape the district and have had a positive impact on education as a whole. Whereas Gil Garrett first joined the Pontiac School District Board of Education as a board trustee in January of 2007. Throughout his years of service, he has held the terms as president and secretary. Whereas during his tenure as a board member, he has played a pivotal role in the evolution of the district through years of continued education, pursuit of best practices, ideations, conversations, and collaboration. Whereas he has further shown his commitment to the well-being of all students' rights to their best educational opportunities through his role as a MASB Board of Director, NSBA Voting Director, and Chair of CUBE. Resolved, the Board of Education for the School District of the City of Pontiac hereby honors Gil Garrett and his impact on the Pontiac School District, its alumni, students, staff, and future Phoenix who will proudly come through our doors. Resolved, we are grateful to Trustee Garrett for his passion and commitment to a future that has no limit for our districts. Resolved, the Board of Education expresses our deepest gratitude for his years of service to our community and to the thousands of people whose lives he has enriched. And this is signed by me and each one of your fellow board trustees. Mr. Gil Garrett, thank you for your service. All right.
Double G.
You want to say something before we talk to Kraft?
I'll wait to craft.
Okay. Trustee Troy Kraft, it has definitely been a pleasure serving with you. You have kept it real from day one since being on this board, and you represent totally the love and pride of our community. You have said since day one that you are the community, and you made sure that the community was represented at every single one of our meetings, and every time we went on a trip here and represented the Pontiac School District, you represented the Pontiac community in a positive way. And so I stand before you on behalf of all of your trustees, telling you thank you for your service. You've added great value since you've been here. You've left your mark through the implementation of a program in our high school through our CTE department, and you will truly be missed, but you are still here. You're just now going to be sitting on the other side. But this resolution I will share, just as I shared for Gil Garrett, is a resolution honoring the service of Troy Kraft, whereas the Pontiac School District has been privileged to have many exemplary public servants whose service on the Board of Education helped shape the district and have had a positive impact. Whereas Troy Kraft joined the Pontiac School District Board of Education as a board trustee in January of 2023. And throughout his years of service, he has been an active board member serving our community through his participation on committees and presence at key events. Whereas during his tenure as a board member, he has played a pivotal role in the evolution of the district through years of continual education, pursuit of best practices, idolation, conversation, and collaboration. Whereas he has further shown his commitment to the well-being of all students' rights to the best educational opportunities by obtaining his MASB Level 3 award certification. Resolved, the Board of Education for the School District of the City of Pontiac hereby honors Troy Kraft and his impact on the Pontiac School District, its alumni, students, staff, and future Phoenix who will proudly come through our doors. Resolved, we are grateful to Trustee Kraft for his passion and commitment to a future that has no limit for our district. Resolved, the Board of Education, we express our deepest gratitude for your years of service to our community and to the thousands of people whose life you trust. Trustee Troy Kraft, we thank you for your service. All right, I'll give Trustee Garrett, Trustee Kraft, you got a few minutes.
First of all, I ain't never won nothing. I won a couple baseball trophies when I was young, but first of all, I'd like to thank the team that I had. They were wonderful through the whole time. And I learned a lot from right here through his guidance and the wonderful administration that we worked with. You know, it wasn't nothing I could ask for that I couldn't get. I like to thank the people that actually voted me in, even though I ran unopposed. I was here and I put 10 toes down and I did what I had to do for the betterment of our children. I also like to thank somebody who took care of us through every trip, through everything that we have to do. Cynthia, you don't get enough recognition of what you do. And I was gonna make it a point before I left to let you know how well you took care of us. And thank you, because I really get emotional. So I'm getting off here and let kids talk.
Like Troy said, it's about teamwork, and I'm not the most political savvy person in the room. I'm a little direct. I demand respect because I give it. My goal when I got on this board was to protect Pontiac. And that came from being a police officer, and that came from watching kids not be able to do the things that they wanted to do because they wasn't given all full chances. And so we all have our roles and we all have the things that we do. When I look at this young man that's in public safety right now as a cadet, and we were out here talking earlier, I don't believe in coincidences. My faith doesn't allow me to think that way.
It's okay, Broski.
He gonna be able to take care of his family, right? Like, he's already a hero. Now, some things that he's gonna have to learn along the way, that it's okay to save lives, and it's okay to serve, and it's okay to love to do it. It's okay to be passionate. When you get up every single day and you put that uniform on, and it's a chance that you're not coming back home, it's a different mentality than most of the people that you're gonna ever come in contact with in your life. I didn't choose public education chose me. But it didn't stop me from reaching the highest level of what public education has, and that's sitting at a local board seat and doing what you need to do. So when you serve in the community, stay in the community, be the community, it's a perfect example of why I'm able to sit here and I say, thank this board for this resolution. You're gonna have many awards, you're gonna have many things that happen to you, but I just wanna say to administration, of course, those who've known me since 2006, this is not the last time you're gonna see me. We knows what happens after this, right? Who's been with me for some time. But I can guarantee you this. Sometimes things don't happen the way you think it should, but when it kind of shakes out and you look at people, my commitment to you is my commitment to you, regardless of what it may feel like or things that may happen. God built me this way, in this size, with these shoulders to handle the things that come my way. It's because I really, really, really want all the smoke. Like, I really, really, really believe in protecting every square inch of this district with my life. And I've done that. And I'm gonna continue to do that. Only thing I'm asking is, you fill up this seat with about 20 more of him. Because that's what we need. Because when I turn 50 and I sit back and I look at him in that nice blue uniform with that tie on, I can imagine 20 more. And like I told them on a national level, I finished there in 2025, just do what you said you was gonna do. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to sing Kumbaya. But I expect you to do what you said you gonna do at all costs for him.
Thank you, Trustee Grote. Thank you, Trustee Garrett, and thank you, Trustee Kraft. Trustee Gross, did you have something you wanted to share about our awesome?
My grandmother used to always tell me, you should never say goodbye because goodbye is forever. I'll see y'all soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely got to see you two. It is big.
It's only been 25 years.
Yeah. Yes, and to see where he has grown. When I left here in '07, him and I met way before that. But we talked about becoming a board member. And when I left out, he came right in. And I was so proud of what I saw and what I'm seeing even more today. So, brother, bless you, man, for your work. Love you, cuz. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Secretary David Smith, do you have any comments?
I just want to say thank you guys for working as hard as you did for our board. Each one of us brings something different. Trustee Kraft, you know, like President Hannah says, you always kept it real with us. You, ever since I've known you, well, I've always known you, but it's always been about the kids, and you always been fighting for them in different capacities. And so I thank you for always being true to who you really are and to our district. And Trustee Garrett, I thank you for pushing me and our board. You were a great leader for us. You had us working long hours, long days, to make sure that we were the best, so that we can make sure that our students is the best. So I thank you for pushing us, making me have a voice, and and I just want to thank you guys so much. It's sad to me because we always, this 7, we were like family. We fought, yelled, screamed, kicked, cried, laughed, hugged, ate, and I'm just gonna miss being with you guys every Monday together. But I know you guys will still be there for us, and if you see us doing something you don't like, I know we'll get a phone call. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Treasurer Terry.
Well, first off, I want to say, start with Gil. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Learned a lot, still learning, but just appreciate the fact that you took us under your wings. You helped us get to where we are today. You made us better board members. You still teaching us even today. So I just want to say I appreciate everything you've done. All the hard work you put in to the school board, to the students, administration, and the staff. I just want to say thank you. And as always, you know, I know you won't be sitting up here, but I know your presence will be out there. I know you big on the city of Pontiac, and I respect that. And obviously, I'm definitely gonna probably see you around. But make sure you don't be too much of a stranger, and make sure you pop in every once in a while and say hello, check in, make sure we good, everything else, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to say thank you for all you've done, and looking forward to, I guess, your next moves. Knowing you can't be a still body. So it's just only a matter of time, I'm sure, before you out there doing some other bigger and better things.
Yes.
So I'm wishing you the best, and like I say, don't forget about us little people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This one right here. Yeah. Know you also for a long time, growing up, Southside and everything else too. But I just want to say it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure working with you, having your perspective, having your outlook. It's always been different, unique, but you stick to yourself. You stick to who you are, and you keep it real, and you keep it true, and you let everybody know how you feeling. And obviously we all can tell, it's about the kids. It's about the kids, and that's one of our main focuses up here, is about the kids as well. So I just want to say thank you. for the time you've been on the board with us. I know we kind of all got, together at the same time, just different terms, but we had our learning curves and everything else, and like I say, I'm still learning. But I want to say thank you for all the time and effort that you put in, and just like Gil, I'm sure you're going to be out there in the community as well, doing your thing and letting the community know that you're still out there. And don't forget about us either. Make sure you come in and stop and check in and show some love and all that good stuff as well.
I'm gonna come back for some space for my kids in the summer. Y'all ain't seen the end of me. I'm gonna come back for my space for a free summer program. Every year that I've been looking for spaces. Now I can do this. I'm not on the board. Okay.
So, in all, I want to say thank you to both of you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. VP Bowman.
Today has been it started tough and it's ending like, I appreciate you, Gil. You've been a very good leader. You've been on the board 6 years at this point, and because of your leadership, we are honors board. You put us in that space, and thank you for that. Mm-hmm. It's not always easy to lead, because sometimes you do get the brunt of it just because of the position that you hold. I really thank you and appreciate you for being the leader that you are. We, again, may not agree on how to get things done, but we get things done. You've been like a big brother, and sometimes, well, not sometimes, we don't get to choose our family, but thank you. Thank you for the space that you hold, and thank you for showing up, because oftentimes in this community, people say, well, you're not from here, why do you care? I'm glad that you care, whether you're from here or not. I wholeheartedly thank you for fighting for this community the way that you fight for this community, the way that you go after people that steal from children. Thank you. Thank you. It doesn't go unnoticed. Things aren't always easy, but when things happen in life, it's to push you somewhere else to another level for another reason. So thank you for the time that you've given to this community. Thank you for the time that you've given to this board. And I know it's not the last that you'll be around, but it was a remarkable experience to serve with you. So thank you for that.
Thank you, man.
Troy, I'm sitting here like, man, when I go to this next conference, like, what? Troy, what am I gonna do?
Walking y'all do.
Right. Troy, thank you so much for, as we said, continuing to keep it real. You are the cousin, brother, uncle, that you have continued to be since I've met you. And I know 10 toes down, 100% that you fight for these kids. Anything that you do it for the best interest of the children of this community. And I thank you. Again, it's not easy to sit up here,
Troy Craig.
but you made it look easy. You made it look good, and we do it in style. So I greatly appreciate you and what you brought to this board. Lots of laughs, and I gotta find a new rollie, but your service to this community is appreciated greatly, and I thank you for wanting to serve and for your service. So I appreciate you as a colleague, a friend, a brother, uncle.
You know how we do it.
So both of you, thank you so much for giving back the way you have, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you much.
Well, y'all already heard me speak, so, all right, good, okay. And I'll share more comments just at the end, but I sincerely meant everything that I said. I really do appreciate both of you and have totally enjoyed serving with you, so thank you again. All right, Dr. Leverett, the meeting is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, President Hannah, trustees, members of the community. This is always an exciting time on the agenda because we have a certificate of distinction where we would like to recognize one of our students for participating in the OCC Fire Academy. But before I do that, I would like to call Brian Sherman and Mrs. Shauna Jackson to the podium. When I first returned to Pontiac, this was one of the first opportunities that Pontiac School District Administration as well as OCC Administration had an opportunity to have a conversation about our CTE program, where our students were, and an opportunity for, again, Pontiac School District to be at the table to have this program. And so we are very excited about where we are. We're very excited about the future of the CTE program. We're going to recognize Jose Lima this evening, but again, in January, you'll hear from Mr. Sherman because we have some other exciting news that I just can't wait, but I can't keep a secret. Okay, then we'll just wait till January. But with that being said, I would really like them to give you just a little background on our partnership with OCC and this Fire Academy. And this certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Jose Lima in recognition, Jose, of your groundbreaking achievement of being the first student to enroll in our OCC Fire Academy. Thank you, Jose, for paving the way for your fellow students and your commitment to safety of our community. Congratulations on your achievements. We are very proud of you. Let's give it up for Jose. Just briefly to give an overview of what he's been experiencing in the program.
Good evening, board trustees and the community. So the OCC Fire Academy is our new partnership. Through this one-year program, students that are going through the Fire Academy will be able to complete all the coursework needed to take their Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 test immediately upon graduation. OCC has an 88% success rate in placement and passing Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2. Jose is taking classes, not tonight, because their semester's already done with, but Monday nights and Thursday nights, 6 to 9 p.m., and then every other Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So this is a large responsibility that students are doing in this program, going to school way after hours and on weekends. So through semester 1, we'll start semester 2 in January with 3 additional classes. The students that complete this program will walk out with 24 OCC credits in addition to the high school credits, leading toward graduation as well.
And we'd also like to recognize his aunt who's with him this evening. Thank you for coming and all of your support of Jose. We really appreciate it. All right. Thank you. And this next recognition is on behalf of one of our staff members. He is not here, but it's on behalf of the Michigan School Business officials. It is with great pleasure to inform you that Christopher Ewald has met the requirements for certification under the MSBO Voluntary Certification Program and has earned the Chief Financial Officer certification. This award reflects a high degree of academic and professional preparation established by the MSBO Board of Directors through our Professional Development Committee. Mr. Ewald's certificate will be valid from 11/1/2024 through 10/31/2029. During this 5-year period, he will need to maintain active MSBO membership and earn 150 professional development hours in order to maintain and renew his certification. I hope that you will all join us in celebrating Mr. Ewald's accomplishments, and thank you. I will accept this recognition on behalf of Mr. Ewald.
Was there any comments that the board wanted to give Jose before you leave? Before?
Kept him long.
Yeah, we did. You have school. Thank you.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
We don't need a picture.
Congratulations.
Good job.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank you, trustees. It is. All right. Moving down our agenda, good evening, trustees.
Good evening.
And to our guests, to our administration, thank you again for bearing with us as we continue down our agenda. Can I get a motion for the approval of our consent agenda?
Support?
It's been moved by VP Bowman, supported by Trustee Gross for the approval of the consent agenda. Any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
Trustee Gross,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Crowd.
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
Thank you. All right, information from the superintendent and administration. Dr. Leverett, the meeting is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Hannah. This evening, we would like to discuss in action the KSK Consulting. As you will recall, I believe a month or so, Dr. Krantz was here at Board Governance, and she is here this evening, and she talked at length about the potential scope of work for her to engage in the district. So again, I want to say, as we think about the future of Pontiac School District, the right sizing of the district, the academic support that our students need, this is a three-phase approach by Dr. Krantz that will enlist three things: listen to learn sessions across the district, instructional program curricular deep dive. That's going to be really the heart of the work that she does as we really take a critical look at our curricular and instruction programs, and then an analysis and alignment of funding or new opportunities for us to expand programs via grants. And so I'll just read this background rationale to you. Again, I do want to say, as we have recognized our young student participating in the OCC, we've recognized Chris Ewald from his outstanding work with MSBO. We also have application for 5-level cabinet members that were approached about an opportunity to participate in the MSBO Leadership Institute, and all 5 of them said, yes, Dr. Leverett, we want to participate. Now, you know, as a lifelong learner, it is so essential, and so that's how we're going to move forward with our messaging as a district, that we're lifelong learners, that we engage in professional development, that we're on the stage at the state national level, Trustee Garrett, and that we're bringing that information back, and we're really having those critical conversations, because there is a whole landscape out there for growth and opportunity. And to have Pontiac School District have 5 central office members at the table potentially for this MSBO leadership, it speaks volume as a district, and it speaks volumes to the state level and where we plan on growing as a district. So I will not belabor discussing an action for the KSK consultant. Listening to learn sessions by design provide a level playing field for all participants. The structure of listening to learn sessions sets forth clearly understood protocols for active listening within safe and compassionate settings facilitated by experienced neutral professionals. Using an adaptive restorative process, participants will have the time and space to share how they have been most affected by not only the dynamics facing the district and community, but also how these other environments, crises, may have also shaped their current thought patterns. Listening to learn sessions are safe and brave spaces designed to help us regain the sense of personal power, belonging, and voice disrupted during this time. They will aid us in healing both as individuals as well as collective school community, and help people move from me to us. This process plan is inclusive and thorough. The beginning steps towards healing, along with the detailed information captured during these sessions, will allow the leaders within the Pontiac School District to subsequently set forth a plan of action built from an authentic sense of trust and information gained from listening to learn sessions involving all members of the community. This proposal sets forth a comprehensive plan to begin to heal the wounds of all members of the Pontiac Public School community through listening to learn sessions tailored specifically to capture the thoughts and experiences of all Pontiac stakeholders. The information gathered and collectively analyzed through these sessions will also help inform a comprehensive way forward for Pontiac Public Schools. This important work will strengthen the district while building a culture of care and informed decision-making for Pontiac. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the contract for SKA Consulting from January through January 30th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $81,000. Excuse me, thank you.
Doc got so excited over there. I hear you.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you. Any questions? Were you done reading, Dr.
Yeah,
Leverett?
and Dr. Krantz is here. You'll see her contract attached, and when she previously visited us at board governance, she laid out how these phases will be structured from January through April of 2025.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board?
Yeah.
Yes, Treasurer Terry?
First question, just in regards to the timing. I know this is scheduled from the January through April.
Yeah.
Time frame. I know right now there's a lot of things at play, but also bring the concern of maybe some personnel changes, just given some of the situations we got currently going on. And my thought is, if this is a one-time session, if we started in January and ended in April, knowing that information and kind of where we are budget-wise as well, would it benefit it more to maybe start this at a new school year, starting off with a new school year, and then be able to at least follow through and see how that impacts us that following year? So, in other words, I know if we start this in January, we just got that basically the second half. And then from there, I'm sure things are going to change over the summer before we start back up. So my concern is doing it one time and then turning right back around, and due to new personnel or moving around, to come back and have to maybe repeat that process again. So I would like to see if we could maybe structure it so that we can take that time out to maybe evaluate the program at the same time, but have the same people there in the places versus having change or turnovers.
So with that being said, Trustee Terry, I'm real big on accountability, and a lot of these infrastructures are really necessary for us to move forward now. And part of Dr. Krantz's work is a train the trainer model. So the expectation would be, if personnel did change, that we would be equipped after working with her these next few months to train any new coming personnel. I do feel very strongly, Trustee Terry, that we're at a critical juncture, and that this time frame, and I understand exactly what you're saying in terms of the startup for next year, but this will help inform our work for the summer and the beginning of the school year. It'll be a huge part of that planning.
And then second question, was there any, I guess, research or deep dives into any, I guess, potential maybe grant funding for these type of programs?
For the services that she will provide, I know in checking with Diane that is not part of the coverage, but we're confident that what Dr. Krantz is going to help us discover is some additional funding and grant opportunities for specialized programs that we hope to bring into the district and grow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Moving down for action item, can I get a motion for the approval of KSK Consultant subcontract agreement?
So move.
It's been moved by Trustee Gross and supported by VP Bowman for the approval of the KSK Consultant subcontractor agreement. Any questions?
Madam President,
Yes.
I'm in full agreement of and support this, but I'm gonna have to abstain because there's some work that this particular contractor has done before, and another district in another state saw our meeting. We had a conversation right after, and so because of my position of recommendation, I'm in full support of her coming here first, but then services are going to be needed at the national level, and I want to be able to extend that, so I'm going to abstain because that would be my conflict.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other questions? Roll call, please. You said abstain.
Trustee Gross,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Kraft,
Yes.
and I'm voting yes. That passes 6-0.
Thank you. All right. Moving on down to Board of Education, resolution honoring Ms. Portia Fields Anderson. I would like to read the resolution for Ms. Portia, honoring the life of Portia Fields Anderson. Whereas the school district of the city of Pontiac has been privileged to have numerous individuals play a pivotal role in our community through their talents, generosity, and gifts throughout the years. Whereas Portia Fields Anderson was a pillar of the Pontiac community for several decades, serving in many roles, including teaching the joyful health benefits of movement through yoga and dance at Oakland Community College and the Pontiac Community Center. Whereas the director of the Community and Health Human Services Department for the city of Pontiac, whereas she managed the Recreation, Library, Latin Affairs, and Human Services Division. Whereas she served on the Board of Directors of the Cultural Council in Pontiac. Whereas Survival Center and the Pontiac Oakland Symphony was a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority and held a Master's of Art degree from Wayne State University. Whereas she was renowned for her work as an advocate for diversity, her exquisite performances as a dancer and educator, and her boundless energy and radiance. Whereas she passed away on November 26, 2024. Resolved, the Board of Education for the School District of the City of Pontiac hereby celebrates the life and career of Portia Fields Anderson and mourns her passing, which is a profound loss for our Pontiac School District community, and further resolve that we extend our deepest sympathies to her family, friends, colleagues, and neighbors. And further resolve, the Board of Education expresses our deepest gratitude for her years of service to our community and to the thousands of people whose lives she enriched. Sincerely, myself, as well as our board trustees. I would like to say that I had the privilege of working with Ms. Portia Fields Anderson. Although we are members of the same sorority, we connected through our work in the Pontiac cleanup, cleaning up the parks during Earth Day and the summers. And Portia was just full of life. Every time I seen her, she just had this energy about herself, regardless of how she was feeling. You would have never known if she had any ailments, because she was always just so full of life, so giving, and everybody that she came in contact with, she just exuded love to them. So I appreciate that type of energy. I appreciate seeing that type of passion one to have for their community as well as just mankind. I was watching a documentary on Netflix, Debbie Allen's documentary on the hot chocolate nutcracker. And in watching Debbie Allen in action, I realized Portia was Pontiac's Debbie Allen. And so to her family, to the community that loved her, and it was obvious at her homegoing service how much love and respect everybody had for her. So I just share with her husband as well as her family that she was a blessing and she will truly be missed. So I will share if there's any other trustees that wanted to give comments about Ms. Portia. We'll start here. Secretary David Smith.
I just wanted to give my deepest condolences to her family as well. I met her probably like 17, 18 years ago. She was my oldest son's mentor, and it was so devastating when I had to tell him that she had passed away. To see, he doesn't cry much, and to see his big butt cry, it really had broke me down, because he said she really touched his heart, gave him his first job, and always stayed in touch with him and his friends. So she didn't just build those babies up, but she stayed with them through their journey. So she will be missed, and I'm praying for her family.
Thank you. Anybody else? Trustee Kraft.
I'm gonna get it together. This hit me real this hit me real hard.
We know.
She was like a mother to me. And I met her when I was 15 years old. And, you know, from the first time that I met her until the end of it, I mean, she was with me up until the day, I was with her up until the day she went into the hospital. Now, I knew about this, you know, her illness, potential illness, about 2 years ago. And I decided to do stuff, to take steps, to give her flowers. So last year, which was December 11th, last year, I held an event, an appreciation event down at the Crowford. I begged around for money, all this kind of stuff, and I had people to come together. The guy donated the Crowford to me. This was a wonderful day. She talked about that for a year, up until she passed, about how many people came. Do you remember this person here? Do you remember that person? So I didn't have no regrets as far as that go, but I just think that we all should have honored her. We had an icon here, and what we misplaced is that when we have valuable people here, we don't take enough time with them to give them their flowers. And not just Portia, but it's other people that's passed on. And I think we should learn a lesson from that. And learn from what she did. She was always a giving person. All the way to the end. All the way to the end. And as far as the end goes, she donated her body to science. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. That's how much of a giving woman she was. She, at the memorial, her body wasn't there. And that was my biggest fear, to walk in there and see that. But, you know, I guess she kind of knew what I'd be thinking, you know, so I held it on. But Miss Portia, she's going to be missed. She's going to be missed. My kids going to miss her. From my children to my summer kids. I have pictures and videos of her this summer where she came in her walker, where she was sick, terminal, sick, and she was still showing the kids how to do calisthenics and tumbling. You know, and that goes a tribute to her. She deserved every bit of this. And then what we should do now is cherish the person that's here for her. She had a husband of 45 years that was here. And that's who we should be basically looking up for right now. That's what she would want right now. So I'm going to take the resolution and take it over to him. I talked to him earlier today. And, you know, he took it real bad. But I really hope the Lions win the Super Bowl. She was she was a season ticket owner. Her and Uncle Ben have been season ticket owners since they were at the Silverdome. And this was the only year she couldn't go. And we talked about the Lions. That was one of the things. So I'm gonna let it go because y'all know I can't. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Trustee Garrett.
I met Portia Fields Anderson in Detroit. She was best friends with my high school principal, Dr. Robertson. And she taught my sister and my other cousin, Michelle, how to dance at the Franklin Rice Settlement on the east side of Detroit. She showed me that wherever you land, you should be planting seeds and growing. I'm not the first, and nor will I be the last, to call Pontiac home. But Portia, show what you were supposed to do when you say you love something. So I'm proud to have known her and to watch her and have her correct me and watched me before I became a police officer, and then brought me to Murphy Park to show me what that looked like. She is Murphy Park. I hope they name that after her. That would be a great honor. But she knew how to serve. And when you stand on shoulders of those type of people, I can be bold because of her. And so I just thank her. I thank her family. I thank her husband, who was the first person I went to because he was actually one of the first board members for Pontiac Academy for Excellence. And he worked tirelessly in education, both at the local and state level. And so he had a wealth of knowledge, and he took some time out even before I decided to come on the board. And so they're just a giving family. So blessings to them. And I'm going to keep praying for them. But she's going to live on because there were thousands and thousands of children that she's helped and watched us along the way. And I think we ought to keep showing her the great job she has done by serving the way that she would want us to. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, anything else? All right, thank you. Yes, I'm sorry, VP Bowman?
I just wanted to say that Portia and her smile was just, it lit up the world. I met Miss Portia a few years back when we had the rec center over on Golf Drive, and when our eyes met, and she said, "Do I know you?" And I said, "Do I know you?" And we just fell in love with each other and had a beautiful friendship. And this past summer, with her teaching the kids to tumble, her teaching me how to tumble and do things, I appreciate her kindness, her love, and her smile, and she'll be missed. And thank you, Miss Portia, for everything that you've done for this community.
Thank you. Good. All right. All right, thank you. Now moving down. Discussion item B, interlocal partnership agreement between the County of Oakland County and the School District of the City of Pontiac. Attorney Seegers?
Yes, good evening. The collaboration between the Oakland County Parks and Recreation Commission, the OCPRC, and the School District of the City of Pontiac is a strategic initiative designed to provide shared resources, improve public services, and enhance the quality of life for students, families, and the broader Pontiac community. The interlocal agreement, which is attached, ILA, formalizes a partnership that leverages the complementary strengths of both entities, maximizing the impact of their respective missions and improving access to recreational and educational opportunities for Pontiac residents. This involves the Hawthorne property, and essentially what this would do is allow Oakland County Parks to essentially take over that park for a 20-year period. This is not a lease, but it's an agreement whereby they would put a significant capital improvement into the area and essentially annex it to be part of the adjacent Pontiac Oaks. So it would become one large park, which would include a part that the quote-unquote city-owned, and the other part which would be still owned by the School District of the City of Pontiac. If during that 20-year period we decide that we need to do something with the property, such as build a new school or perhaps sell it to someone who wanted to develop that area, we would be able to do that with the understanding that any money they have put into the project as it relates to capital improvements, we would actually, pay them back for that. And we also have a buy-in as it relates to the capital improvement process. Any capital improvements have to be approved by the designated representative of the district, the superintendent, and at the end of 20 years of the lease, there's an option for a 20-year extension, a renewal period that the district has to agree to in writing. But at the end of the 20-year period, any improvements on that land actually become part of the land, and we do not have to actually pay the county back for that. And that is pretty much the deal. We spent a lot of time on this last week, and I feel very comfortable with it, that the district's interests are protected, and at the same time, we won't have to have Marvin go over there and take stuff off the property all the time. That would not be our responsibility anymore, so. The agreement begins on the effective date of the day that it's signed, has an initial term of 20 years, and as I said again, it automatically renews for another 20 years unless we give written notice within 180 days of the expiration. That's the
Thank-
agreement. And there's somebody here from the Oakland County Parks and Recreations Commission if anyone has any questions.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Ward. Trustees, do we have any questions about the agreement? Yes.
So when you say the buy-in, the 30,000 that it spells out, is that something that we have to pay into? Or is that just, was that in there for use as definition of what the capital outlay project would be?
That's something that the Oakland County Parks pays.
That's a definition of capital.
That's by definition.
That'd be on our.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was asking. And then the last part of it is, in terms of what you put in, because that's not really necessarily spelled out, do you already know the initial budget that you have for that piece, or is that something that you're pretty much working through at this?
Work through it, and we're gonna come back, either the board or you will
Okay,
come to a common agreement.
okay. Okay, awesome, thank you.
Thank you. All right, were there any other questions? Good. I know when we talked about this, when Oakland County came and presented to us the development, what it could look like, it was exciting for all of us to know that we have an opportunity to provide some community youth space and activities. Particularly, I think what was of interest, the splash pad for our community. So with that being said, I think this is a great opportunity for the county and the district to work together to bring this type of opportunity to our youth here in the Pontiac community. So if there are no more questions, we have another question?
No, just more of a comment. I
Okay,
just want
go
to thank
ahead.
the board for bringing this. I didn't get a chance, I had an emergency last time you were here, but I got a chance to read it over. I'm big on not selling, but big on partnerships. And this is, for me personally, a win-win for both. And in 20 years, no matter what it looks like, we know that our residents are going to have the opportunity to have something done there. And we know that we'll be consistent with the build of it. And so I just personally wanted to say thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to do that last week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right. All right, good. So now moving down to action items, we'll start with the approval of resolution honoring Ms. Portia Fields Anderson. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion.
Support.
It's been moved by Trustee Kraft, supported by Treasurer Terry, for the approval of resolution honoring Ms. Portia Fields Anderson. Any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Gross,
Absolutely, yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett.
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for the approval of the interlocal partnership agreement between the County of Oakland County and the School District of the City of Pontiac?
So moved by
Sup-
Bowman.
Support by Garrett.
All right, it's been moved by VP Bowman, supported by Trustee Garrett, for the approval of the interlocal partnership agreement between County of Oakland and the School District of the City of Pontiac. Any questions?
This comment
Comment?
to you, the VP and the superintendent,
No, it's going,
that young man there, thank you.
Oh, yeah, no, thank this board.
No, you went out and did the work, and then you brought it back to us with a great presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett
yes.
and Trustee Gross.
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. Moving down to finance items. Discussion item, summer tax collection resolution. Dr. Leverett?
Let's get this money,
Thank you. I'll defer to Pete. Pete?
get this money.
Okay, so this is the fiscal year 25-26 summer tax collection resolution. Per state law in the Michigan Court of Appeals, every year the board must affirm its intent to impose a summer tax levy for the full eligible property tax. Therefore, the board is being asked to impose a summer tax levy for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 25 through June 30th of 26 for 100% eligible property tax, and direct the interim superintendent or designee to negotiate and execute an intergovernmental agreement with local or county agencies as provided in Act 333, Public Acts of Michigan 1982, to implement the summer tax collection. So this serves as the annual affirmation of the School District of Cities Pontiac Board of Education of its intent to request local taxing authorities to collect 100% of the school district's tax levy on the summer tax collection. It is the recommendation of the administration that the board adopt the attached resolution to reaffirm the 100% summer property tax collection and grant the interim superintendent or designee authorization to negotiate and execute the intergovernmental agreements required to implement the 25 summer tax levy collection as presented by the administration. So it's basically an annual resolution asking the municipalities collect 100% of our taxes in the summer versus 50% in the summer and 50% in the winter. Main reason is for cash flow purposes and to maximize our interest income, and about $55 million of property tax revenue is affected by this.
Wow, all right. Questions?
Oh, no, we don't.
No?
Okay,
Questions? Okay.
Thank you, Pete.
I just asked you, you
All
wanted
right.
to pass, you just looked at me like I was just.
All right, moving down to action item for the approval of this, can I get a motion for the approval of the summer tax?
Move by Garrett.
And
Support.
Okay.
All right, it's been moved by trustee Garrett, supported by VP
We
Bowman.
had a whole lot of new moves and new buildings.
Of the summer tax collection resolution. Any questions? Roll call.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Kraft,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett,
Yes,
Trustee
absolutely.
Gross,
Yes.
and President Hannah.
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Pete. All right, General Counsel, Human Resource Items. Dr. Leverett?
Attorney Seegers.
Yes, good evening. This is the School Resource Officer Agreement with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. The integration of a School Resource Officer Agreement with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office serves as a proactive measure to enhance the safety, security, and overall well-being of students, staff, and the broader school community. The decision to formalize this partnership is grounded in several key considerations: enhanced campus safety, fostering positive relationships, support of students and staff, educational contributions, alignment with community priorities, and proactive risk management. By formalizing this SRO agreement, the district demonstrates its commitment to prioritizing safety, fostering community relationships, and supporting student development in a secure and nurturing environment. It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the agreement for the school resource officers with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office for the period of January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2027, for a total cost of $1,874,886.
Thank you, Seegers. Do we want to go?
To the easement?
Yep.
Yes.
And then we'll go back to the questions.
Okay. The Michigan Department of Transportation has an upcoming project along the I-75 Woodward Avenue Loop. This is the conversion of the Woodward Loop from one-way to two-way. They're interested in acquiring a consent to grade rights small easement on a very small portion of our 47200 Woodward Avenue property, this property, in accordance with state and federal regulations governing the acquisition of property by MDOT. We have sent the district an offer to purchase these rights for $1,000 based on terms and conditions contained in the proposed easement agreement. Please note that MDOT is not making this offer under the threat of condemnation. If an agreement regarding the purchase cannot be reached, MDOT will discontinue negotiations and cease this transaction. If the district agrees, MDOT will purchase the rights to the property for a period of 3 years, starting from January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2027. and it's $4,000. It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the MDOT easement at the Board of Education for $1,000 in revenue to the district.
All right, thank you. I know there was some questions about, so before, under these for Daryl, so do we want to, we can address any questions that we have for both of these before we move on to item C. So did any questions regarding the SRO agreement with Oakland County Sheriffs?
I don't have any questions in regards to that. Of course, starting here, being an SRO, when I leave here, that's going to be my daily job, working with Sergeant James. I want to applaud this district. I want to applaud this board for taking the steps that you've taken. This is the first year that we've actively made it a priority of making sure that we keep our kids safe and our community safe and the communication that flows between the two. Now, of course, I will abstain from this particular vote because I work for the Sheriff Department. But we just had another shooting in Wisconsin. And there's a few that go undocumented. Pontiac got criticized for not taking this approach years ago. Meaning when they, and pardon me when I say not taking this approach, but taking the approach of putting safety first. And they put metal detectors, and I probably couldn't imagine, we always had metal detectors, but just in this particular community, that was something that everybody talked about. And so to be in a space where we are right now and the programs that you have and you're offering to other, I see the emails, I see the, CPR emails that came out today. Just protecting our kids is important. And I just wanted to publicly say thank you for continuing to do that and hope that this carries. The second thing is the easement. That was a statement, but the question is, with the easement, are they saying that if we don't take the $4,000, then they're going to go somewhere else? Basically?
Yes.
And
Actually, it's $1,000.
I thought you said 4,000.
He said 4.
For $1,000.
FOR.
$1,000.
So for 3 years, they want to give it is that the parking lot right here?
It's maybe it's an area that's probably the size of 2 of these tables, right at the corner, right by the light.
Oh, see, man, you made me think it was.
No,
you made me feel like it was. I thought it was like the parking lot for $1,000. Man, you got me hot as. You got me hot as fish grease over here. Okay, man, I'm good. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Over here, man.
Treasurer Terry?
Yeah. That's the agreement, yes.
We talked about it in closed session 2 weeks ago.
It's good to have a partnership with
Yes,
you.
with
Yeah.
the DOT.
Yeah.
I thought. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just thought he had said it was the parking lot for $1,000. And then I mean, can you imagine? I mean, what I'm saying?
Bad
MDOT,
information.
right? Bad information. Man, I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
All right, Treasurer Terry?
I think he did it on purpose.
See, that wasn't me.
Hot as fish.
So you.
A few questions. First question, obviously, just wondering, looking from a budget standpoint, to making sure that, I guess, it's within that budget. But in addition to that, comparing some of the numbers, I know if I'm correct, we had, 2? Was it 2 last year?
Or 3 months.
We had
2 last year?
we had 2 until about a month ago, and now we have 3.
We have 3.
So, would be 3?
We have 3, and this new contract keeps the same 3 that we have right now.
Okay. Now, if I'm correct, did we receive, I guess if I'm correct, I'm trying to remember this contract exactly, but I believe we paid for 1 SOR, and did the county sponsor 1 SOR or no?
That was when there was
years
some
ago?
money.
That was.
That's not anymore.
Yeah, that's
not anymore?
Yeah, the county, the commission. No, that was a couple years ago. Like that was
Correct.
We missed one window, and I think we was able to slide in one. Like when I think y'all were interning at that point. Y'all wasn't just y'all were interning. But then the commission, that other folks couldn't get what we were getting in Pontiac, And so they had to put a kibosh to that because other communities, 28 school districts in Pontiac, county couldn't do what we were doing. And so that became an issue for them, so we had to kibosh that.
Okay, so how do we get to 3? What brought that on? Just question.
3 people?
Yes.
They added a sergeant position, and I believe actually, Deputy James got promoted, I think, to the sergeant position. And then there are 2 other just regular deputies who then support him.
Okay, so from a budget standpoint, because 3 years, we're looking at a little over 1.5 million. And I know we got a budget amendment coming up. And then also considering going forward, I know we need to be considering some other cost ideas. So in addition to that, have we explored any other ideas as far as maybe getting more security staff in?
Not that I know of.
I would like to add just that based on the meeting that I had with Deputy at the beginning, I believe at the beginning of the school year, he shared what those positions look like in other districts and the need to have these positions based on the number of incidents and calls for service has a significant, that data just represents the need for us to have another officer. And I do have the other districts in Oakland County Schools and what their incidents are versus the number of whether they have a school liaison sergeant, a deputy, or a school liaison officer. And we are right in alignment with the size of our district, the number of incidents that have been reported, and the need to have this additional staff.
So, Pete, any input as far as budget-wise?
The question is how much can be covered under 31AA, how much carryover. So this was something that, will have to be determined for this year and the next 2 years in terms of if the grants can cover it or if it's going to be general funds. So that's a question.
Okay. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, what drove it to a 3-year contract?
Yeah, it's historically been 1 year, and
correct. So what drove it to a 3?
This is what the county proposed.
Can we evaluate that? Can we put that on the table, or?
Yeah.
You want, go ahead.
Does that? I need to.
So the 3-year contract is going to be standard for all districts across the board that the Oakland County Sheriff's Office serves. So whether that be Avondale School District, Brandon School District, or in Rochester, they all got 3-year contracts. That's going to be the new county standard from now on. And what that does is we've even had the problem here in Pontiac where we're trying to get a contract renewed, and we're down to, like right now in the last few weeks, because our contract expires December 31st. And so in the spirit of not having to go through that problem, because when we did lose that grant funding that was provided by the county, we did have a period of time where we had to be creative because there was a lapse in services to where we would have been taken out of the schools until an agreement was made. So in order to better come prepared and have a lengthier contract term, that's what the county has now made, the Board of Commissioners has made their standard now.
And the last one, I'm assuming the contract is non-negotiable?
So every contract, as it relates to the schools, they're all the same. The wording in it's all the same. I know the only difference in some of the contracts, like I can speak for like Lyon Township, Commerce Township, those areas still have a agreement with their municipality which we do not have anymore, where the municipality covers 3 months, which will be those summer months, and then the school district does the other 9. But with us, we belong to the school district all throughout all 12 months of the year, so we're in summer school. And over the summer is when we do a lot of the safety planning with the security team and implementing different things along the summer, so.
Okay. I think I'm good. I think I'm good for now. For now.
Okay. No, that was good. Those were good questions, and thank you for clarifying that. Comment, yes.
So on the back side of that, can we just make sure we looking into grants or any other funding we can probably, I guess, put towards this one? And I'm only asking because I know the funding source, if I'm correct, wasn't really listed in here, but just want to make sure that that's noted if we can.
Yep. Pete and I talked about it yesterday, so.
Yeah, the 31AA, it did get increased a little bit recently, but again, it's year to year, and so we don't know how much we'll get next year, the year after, so. And there's other expenditures in there, so it's just a moving target. But, you know, there will be some risk of this going in the general fund, to be honest.
Okay.
And we also can look at the Office of School Safety, which offers grant programs every year. I know a couple years ago, we did miss our mark with applying for those grants, where some districts did get, you know, $250,000 to $500,000 for school resource officer programs. That was just when I came into the district, so hopefully the state has some funding here in the next coming fiscal years to where we could tap into some of the school safety grants as well.
Okay.
But as of now, I just want to make sure we're just coming out of general fund.
We had some of this budgeted in the 31AA, so we just got an increased allocation a few weeks ago that the state came up with. So, I mean, somewhat, it's budgeted in 31AA in terms of, I'd say about half it. And then, you know, this other increase might let us put more into it, but last year it was more in general fund because we didn't have the funds for that. And the carryover also plays a part in whatever the grant accountant decides to allocate, and there are other expenditures in there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant. Comment, Trustee?
Well, it's just to bring it more to our, how we view things on the other side, the educational side, right? We wanted to be very specific in having a Spanish-speaking officer dedicated to our school, and then also to the schools, and then also that when incidents are happening in the area or with our students when they're not in school, that those reports come directly to our SROs, and you had to have a sergeant to be able to delegate that particular paperwork or file to a particular SRO, which is Wheeler and Garcia and Sergeant James. And so there's a little bit of strategy around that because of the discipline things that we do see, and want to get a hold on that and getting familiar faces in front of our kids. So when they do make mistakes, and mistakes that may cross over out of the school and into law, perspective of them going to court, that's why you have the creation of teen court. That's why you have the creation of the CPR program, where they'll be able to charge other districts to come in, and we teach them the Alice situation there. It's almost having a start of its own unit. But then also when you start talking about, or you hear folks say this all the time, the school to prison pipeline, the way that you stop that, or the way that you kind of minimize that, is that you get individuals in front of kids that they know. And then you consistently, when it goes to court, that you have people who can advocate for them, because once they leave outside of our school grounds, we no longer have that capacity to do that, unless you're called upon to be a witness or something like that. And so far as the community policing side, there are going to be some grants that we're going to go after federally, nationally, from the community policing side through the Placid organization, which is a national organization, and COPS, which is part of the Department of Justice programming that we can lend over to the SROs in the city of SROs in the Pontiac School District, so we can kind of help with some of that funding or offset some of that cost that Treasurer Terry is speaking on. And so that's just a continuous process. There are some things that federally they do plan on raising some of the federal grants that's coming down, but we need to start applying for them right now. And so by this first quarter, by the summertime, we should know what that next semester would look like. So we won't have to pay the health of that, the total cost of what it is. Just wanted to put that out. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Item C, central office position name change. Dr. Leverett.
Yes, thank you. At this time, we'll want to have a discussion and action around the central office position name change. We had this conversation come before the Board of Education in recent months, and know and understand that the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources would change to Executive Director of Human Resources. Historically, it had been the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, and in terms of the reporting structure and also the size of Pontiac School District moving forward in terms of our restructuring as a district and posting of this position. We're just coming forward to bring before you again just some discussion and potential action around this change.
All right. Any other questions?
So with this, by changing it to Executive Director, so this now becomes a union position?
No, it does not.
So is that taken out of the PASA contract? That if they are a director, or is it because we're using the term executive director? Because any position, I mean, according to the language that's in their contract, that any position or director positions immediately puts them into their into that table.
No.
I mean, that's how I understood it. So that's why, and the reason why I bring it up, because we had this conversation before, and we were, and I just, one of those, the opposition of changing it or using the word director was because in their contract, if you did that, in our agreement with them, that they would not, that position would be a part of the PASA. I hope I said that right.
This position would be exempt from PASA.
So do we have is there already an MOU with PASA to make this exempt before we make this move?
Yep.
So no, there's contract language already set forth in the PASA contract that the Human Resources Director, if it's Executive Director, if it's, I think Supervisor also would be exempt from their union.
Okay. And nothing against unions. However, just us, just talking about Pontiac. It's a concern at times when that position, because it holds the level of trust that it does and information that it does, that a lot of things got leaked and it started a problem. And I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but we changed it for a reason for it not to happen. So I just want to make sure that we're still okay with that, and that's the kind of that's why I yielded that question. And does the salary break down because of what it is right now? Is it roughly $20,000 less?
At least between $20,000 and $25,000 less, yes, depending on the qualifications, and yes, but it will be starting off. It just depends on. Yes, it will be. Okay. It will not be higher.
I mean, it's just, I'm for, again, small moment in time. I'm big on the organizational chart and big on saving us money and making sure that we're getting qualified people in those specific areas to make sure that we need to to do what we need to do.
Understood.
And so, that's all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Treasurer Terry?
Just kind of piggybacking, what would be the main benefit of doing this name change? I mean, I'm just trying to wrap it around there as far as, because the way it's worded, everything else is going to stay the same.
Right. There could potentially be some other changes in terms of the roles and responsibilities. But when you think about a district of this size, you have a superintendent, you have assistant superintendent of curriculum and instruction, you have assistant superintendent of finance, and normally it is the executive director of human resources. When you think about the scope and the reporting structure of the district.
So who?
So it would still be that person would still be reporting to the superintendent as we have it
So
right
Main thing
now.
would be the cost.
Potentially, it would be a,
benefits.
yes.
So so the starting rate is going to go down, or the starting rate is going up?
No, the starting rate will not increase.
Well, I'm only asking because based on our structure and the way the system is, every year there's an increase in salary. And I'm only asking that because year after year after year, obviously that cost is going to continue to go up. We don't have a cap.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right.
So we starting high, if you want to call it that way. So where do we top out at? And because if we basing it on little percentages, of 5%, whatever you want to call it, on top of this amount that's currently in here, you're going to hit 150 easily. And that all has to be taken into consideration with our budget as well.
So the assistant super, if you're asking that, it tops out at 149, but that goes up based on the wage formula, like everything else does. Like this year was 2.57%. It just automatically goes up, but there's no more steps.
But
No, I just trying to figure out the real benefit of the name change, really, though. But go ahead.
no, it's in the same vein that you're saying. The problem is, the concern would be that we do this for 2 years and then you back to where you're at. I think in this conversation, when we're talking about the organizational chart, and this is I didn't bring it up, y'all brought it up. When you start looking at non-union employees, and we start saying that, okay, you getting the 3 to 5%, you get the 3 or 3.5%, plus you're basing this off of PASA, would you do say PASA? PASA steps, like that's there's going to be a 5% in there somewhere, right? Or has been over time.
It has.
And so it's not just this particular position that we're talking about here. And so and I understand it's HR and that whole thing, and it's not really, and I think the significant change is, and we asked this a while back and having this conversation, is what does it look like when you are negotiating a long-term salary with that individual based upon that person's credentials in that particular space. I.e. example, we talked about the district being this size, and even it may not look the way that it is right now on paper, but we do have a consultant that has a high level not just intellect on governance of school districts or even organizations of the school district, but a very keen perspective specifically to Pontiac. So what that person's capability is to help, that helps during the transition or transitioning, cost is a little bit more than somebody who would come in and just say, I'm just a regular coach. And so that 3 to 5% wouldn't be, you understand what I'm saying? Like, so I think you need to look at not just this position, but take a look at that 3 to 5%, like across all non-user and then steady doing the whole yearly, like we talked about, that you do a multi-year contract with that individual, setting specific goals to get back to what we're saying, effective governance, and how you begin to, what's the word I'm looking here? You say it to me all the time. Structure and the evaluate yearly, even though they're in a 3-year contract with a 1-year renewal. So we have longevity from individuals who know that based upon their performance indicators that they'll get X, Y, and Z upon that 3-year contract. And we're having steady having an upfront cost, right? A low cost. We're gradually spreading it out over time and steady just having just that one position. Because I'm sure y'all had the conversation with, because you talked about restructuring a couple of times, right? And so, and what that looks like. And so.
Right, and we still have a draft framework. This is just one piece of that as we're moving into the phase of restructuring and the more extensive conversation and presentation that we'll bring to you in January.
My recommendation is that you table it to January, because it is a great space to be operating in. And quite frankly, that first quarter going to tell us a lot about where some finances is going to come from and what exactly how we're going to grow in that first quarter. And you can really reorganize as that first quarter. Like, yeah, that's going to be huge for the district. I think that's just me.
Thank you. Yes, Treasurer Terry?
Just one more thing. Is this also being considered for other exec heads? I mean,
there are various positions that I'm taking a look at. Everything collectively, but yes.
So the superintendent's going to become a CEO or?
No.
I wish.
But we have more directors, is what you're saying?
Potentially, yes.
And that will get, very interesting. Okay.
Yep. But it's going back, Trustee Terry, to the conversation that we've had in the past about that 2.75. Like you said, it just keeps going each year. So we've had a conversation about what that potentially looks like. And Pete and I continue to revisit that because it's huge implications for the growth of potential salaries in 3 years. Like you said, you could see something significant on an individual salary. So we're looking at that.
Okay. Good. All right. Moving down to action items. Can I get a motion for the approval of the school resource officer agreement with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved by VP Bowman, supported by Trustee Gross, for the approval of the school resource officer agreement with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. Any questions? Roll call.
Excuse me. VP Bowman?
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett?
I'm going to abstain, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And
Nobody accusing me.
Trustee Gross?
Yes.
President Hannah?
Yes.
And Treasurer Terry?
Yes.
That passes 5-0.
Thank you. A motion for the approval of the MDOT easement at the administration building.
Moved by Trustee Garrett.
Support by Trustee Gross.
Been moved by Trustee Garrett, supported by Trustee Gross, for the approval of MDOT easement at the administration building. Any questions? Roll call, please.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett?
Yes.
Trustee Gross?
Yes.
President Hannah?
Yes.
Treasurer Terry?
Yes.
VP Bowman?
Yes.
That passes 5-0.
All right, thank you. Now for the approval of
I'm
the
sorry.
He abstained.
Oh,
Oh, that was.
no, he didn't
No.
abstain.
One-
6-0. I'm sorry,
So-
guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Approval of the central office position name change.
Madam,
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
If we may, if before your motion, can I put a motion on the floor to table it into January?
Sure.
I'll put a motion on the floor to table this item to January's board meeting.
Okay.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by trustee Garrett and supported by trustee Grove to table item C, the approval of the central office position name change to our January meeting. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Yes, I do have a question.
Questions?
Is
Yes.
it necessary to get it done immediately, or how, it wouldn't have any effect?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Doesn't change.
Okay. All right, roll call, please.
1 second. I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
Trustee Gross,
He said yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman.
Yes.
That passes 6-0.
All right, thank you very much. Moving down the agenda to operating maintenance items. Dr. Leverett. We are almost there.
At this time, I'll turn it over to Marvin. Yep.
Games.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Bring the agenda, Harrington Elementary School's infrastructure upgrade part 3, background rationale proposals were publicly requested for 24029 Harrington Elementary School's infrastructure upgrades for rebid category roofing on November 18, 2024, and received on December 3rd, 2024. The bid proposals were read aloud at the Odell Nels Administration Building reviewed jointly with Pontiac School, Saxon Construction, and Integrated Design Solutions. The bid category is described as follows in letter A below. The following is a summary of the remaining recommended scope of work to be awarded for Harrington Elementary infrastructure upgrades. The roofing bid category being recommended includes, but is not limited to, new roofing system on the entry canopy and work associated with the new HVAC equipment placement on the existing roof. Recommendation is a recommendation from the administration for the Pontiac School Board of Education to approve 24029 Harrington Elementary School infrastructure upgrades part 3 to the outlined contract above at the cost of $62,667. It is also recommended the Board of Education approve a 20% contingency for unforeseen conditions in the amount of $12,535 for a total award of $75,211. Any
Thank you, Marvin. Any questions? Comment? Treasurer Terry?
I just had a comment.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say thank you for bringing us this information. The second comment, I want to just maybe next month, if so, if you can maybe bring in a status report, just to kind of let us know where we are with the projects, timing wise, making sure we're still on schedule, and if there's any perks as far as maybe getting completed done earlier, or whatever the case may be. But I know you guys gotta rather do it, take your time, do it right, versus rushing it, and then it's wrong.
You're doing a great job of it also, just let you know, so it's really coming along good with this project.
And not just for maybe the board, but also for the community as well. Some of the ones that can't make it out there and, just curious on what's going on. I mean, I know we come in for a lot of bid package updates, and I'm sure they're watching, but just to give them a little idea on where we are and the status of that school.
And Doc does go over to the building with me sometimes too, so she like to walk around.
Yeah, I still got my hard hat, yeah.
Thank you. Trustee
No,
Gary? Oh, he did?
the treasurer covered it.
Okay, all right. All right. Any other questions for Mar? Perfect. All right, can
What's
we
his name
move
again?
down to Marvin Beasley?
Oh,
How you doing, Mr. Garrett?
how you doing, sir?
All right, moving down to action item. Can I get a motion for the approval of Harrington Elementary School's infrastructure upgrade?
Moved by trustee Garrett.
Support.
Okay, it has been moved by trustee Garrett, supported by VP Bowman, for the approval of Harrington Elementary School's infrastructure upgrades. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
and I'm voting yes. That passes 6-0.
All right, thank you very much. Communications, petitions, and delegations.
There are none.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Board comments and announcements. We will start to our left. Want to
Thank
start?
you. Yeah, thank you,
Yes.
madam. Good evening, board. Again, I'm grateful for it all. Like, I gotta say, you never get anywhere by yourself. And I'm telling you, like, I have some things I can share. I've had way more good times than I had stressful times. I've had moments of clarity. When I received that Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from our outgoing president and vice president, and I had to sit back for about 40 days to wonder, like, what's next. I didn't get there without this district. Like, I did not get to that acknowledgement. I did not get to this maturity, this spiritual growth that I've been on without this district. And, you know, sometimes when you come into something, I wanted it, safer schools, accountability, financial stability, and educational success. Those were my mantras since 2006. And I gotta say, we're working on that educational success part. But the first three were the toughest. I said Q made me in Vegas, but it was actually this district that solidified who I am as a person. And I'm forever grateful. And it's not that I'm going anywhere or this is like the old kumbaya, you moving on and think. No, I have some unfinished business. Like there is a need for a guy like me when it comes down to education, and I found my niche and my space. And I know why I'm called to different cities to do what I do, and I know why I'm contracted to do what I do. But now I know. See, before it was just maybe I'm good at it, maybe it's just but now I know. Because my character and who I am has been tested, my integrity has been tested, and when you can come back out of that and God can say he well pleased, I'm grateful for that. Because that's always been my goal, is I never wanted to lose that favor. And we are in good hands. No matter, I realize that no matter what the argument or conversation can be, or the yelling or the screaming or whatever happens, that I can really get to the next level. Like really get through the whole thing and go, that really, really was small, comparatively speaking. And so thank you. Thank you those at home who follow us. We went from viewership of less than 100 to on an average of 1,500 people viewing the meeting, commenting, views are up, social media. We went from not being seen to having this purple and black even being stolen by Rite Aid. I think that's the reason probably why they got shut down, because they was marketing our stuff. But for those who haven't been here as long or really put the work in that you're supposed to put in, take it up a notch. Because I can't remember the young man's name, but
Jose.
Jose? Was it Jose?
Jose Lima.
We get about 20 of him, boy, Pontiac is going to be on fire. And just think, they did that in a year. Through all the chaos, through everything that was going on, they mentioned it, and it was a live product right there. I don't care if it was just one. And they did it, this administration did that in a year. Just imagine when you give them a smooth playing field without the distractions. So, God bless you. I love y'all. Good night. I beat it, Miss Wright.
Thank you. Trustee Gross.
Merry Christmas.
That's it. Merry Christmas. Thank you. All right, moving on over to Secretary David Smith.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to congratulate Jose Lima and Christopher Ewald again. Also, Trustee Garrett, we're gonna miss you in our little sessions and things like that, but you're a phone call away. And thank you for holding us accountable. Like Dr. Leverett says all the time, like it has to start from the top, and you demand us to be the best from the top. So we got to start from the top and bring it down to the bottom. So I thank you for that again. And I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday. And to our parents and big sisters and brothers, if you can play school or something while the kids are at home so that they can stay fresh with the things that they're learning now, we would just love that. So have a safe holiday, everybody, and have fun and enjoy each other. Good night.
Thank you. Treasurer Terry.
All right, good evening. I know it's been a long meeting, long day, but make it quick. Trustee Garrett, thanks again for your service. Appreciate it. And Trustee Kraft, I know you left, but still give him a shout out, appreciate it. Oh, I see what you got over there. Also, congratulations to Jose. Awesome, wonderful information. Keep being that leader. Keep following your dreams. Once you complete your program, get out there. Be that example for the other ones growing up. Maybe come back to the school district and show off a little bit of the things you might have learned, and maybe just be some examples. Maybe come and give us a little presentation or a little speech or something about your little program and your experience and how you went through the program. So congratulations again. Also to Christopher Ewald, I want to say congratulations on obtaining your certification. That's a lot to continue your education and keep moving up in the world. So congratulations to that as well. Wonderful meeting. Enjoyed everything. Great conversations, great discussions. Let's continue to keep that going for 2025. And then on that note, I guess I want to say happy holiday to everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. This is our last meeting for this year. We're giving it up. So hopefully we see everybody back in 2025. Enjoy yourselves and be safe out there. Thank you.
Thank you. VP Bowman.
This was a fantastic meeting today. Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, Happy Holidays. Great. Yeah. Good night.
All right, good. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you bearing with us and sticking here. I know it is a late meeting, but I do want to say again to Jose and actually Mr. Sherman, I'm definitely looking forward to your presentation in January, because Jose is an example of what's to come with our CTE program. So for him to be the very first, I can't wait for your presentation to show other students what they can do and what we are trying to do with moving the Pontiac School District forward. So thank you for your work with that. And I do appreciate Mr. Christopher Ewald's commitment to continuous learning, and congratulate him on his certificate. I know we are at the holiday season, and for some it can be sorrowful. And so with that, I do want to acknowledge the family of Jamisha Moore. I understand this was a student that graduated from our school district last year, and she passed away November 22nd, I believe. So for her family, as well as Amir Jackson's family, the fifth grader that we lost over at Whitman, I want to send out condolences to their families. It's always tough during holiday seasons, but especially when we experience grief, I do just want to share our concern and our love for those families. But I do want to say thank you to this administration. This has been 2024 has been, for me personally and professionally, it has been a ride. So I say thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your dedication and for us continuing to move this district forward. I look forward to 2025. And I wish all of you and your families of happy holidays. And I hope you enjoy your break. So for the gifts that we received, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the gift.
Thank you so much.
Lottery tickets. I'm a millionaire.
So,
And President, I want to say thank you also. Thank you for the holiday.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Welcome. I appreciate all of you for your commitment to the work that we do as board trustees. So with that, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Support.
All right, it's been moved by Secretary David Smith and supported by VP Bowman to adjourn our meeting. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gross,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. And for the last time this season,
No.
do you want that to stay?
I started off with no, and I
All right. Meeting adjourned at 9:10 p.m. Thank you so much for watching and happy holidays to our community.
Thanks, everybody.